Hello everybody, it's Kathy, and thank you for coming back to my channel. I'm here today with a quick tutorial on this cute envelope pocket kind of stack. I learned this, I believe it was from Treasure Books. I've adapted it and I'm going to show you how to do it. If you're interested, stick around. Let me go over what it is. It's made out of 2 envelopes. Made a window in this envelope that holds a little tag. There's a pocket back here. With a card in it. There's another place to hold something back here. And that's what we're going to make today. So, let me show you what you'll need. You'll need 2 long envelopes. You can use used envelopes, but 2 nonetheless. If you have an envelope with a window, that'll save you some time, but we're going to make our own window. You're going to need scissors, glue, a hole punch for your tag, some acetate, and that I used for the window. My acetate happened to have some musical notes on it, which I really like. I thought it was cute. So a corner rounder if you choose, some ribbon for the tag, some ink if you choose, and 2 or 3 different colors of cardstock. They can be scraps as long as the scrap is big enough to cover the envelope. Okie doke, let's get started. First things first, we're going to start with our long envelopes and we're going to, let's go ahead and cut them first. The first one we're cutting at 8 inches. 8 by 4. The second one we're cutting at 6 1/4 by 3 1/4. So 8 inches is right here. And this is already right at 4 inches, so no need to cut the width on that. The other one is 6 1/4. And I'm going to cut the side without the flap. So 6 1/4 by 3 3/4. So we're going to cut this side at 3 3/4. Just cutting a little bit off of it. And then this side we're cutting at 6 1/4. Right there. You can save that for later. We're not going to use it, but you could use it for a pocket. Okie doke. Next thing you're going to do is glue the flaps closed and the side closed. You don't want to put glue in there. We're just going to glue the flap closed, and that'll automatically close up the side. Okay, because this is your pocket and you want it to remain open. This one we're going to do the same thing, but this one we are going to have to glue the side. We'll do that first. Make sure I'm in the frame. I have a bad habit of going out of the frame. And then we're going to glue this closed. Just like that. Make sure our pocket's still intact. Okie doke. Now we're going to go back to this pocket, and do you see how I have this here? An opening. In order to do that, let me close this up. All I did was simply cut the edge down about, I want to say, 1/2 inch. Don't worry if it's not perfect. You know me, I'm not a measurer. And then what you're going to do is fold it back on itself. Crease it well. Then we're going to put a little bit of glue here. And then we're going to tuck that flap inside. The only reason you folded it out this way, it makes it a little easier to get it where it wants to go, where it should go. Okay, so you have something that looks like that. Okay, next thing we're going to do is simply trim the edges, the corners off. So I'm going to trim one, just like that, and I like it to be kind of even, so I'm going to take the other one and use it as a guide. Whoop. And we're going to cut that the same way. Just like that. Next thing we want to do is we want to use this envelope and put a mat on it. When I say mat, it's just like I already cut mine. We're going to put it right over it so that there's an edge showing. And what you want to do is make this a little smaller than your 4 inches. So let me tell you exactly how. Let me see how wide this was. This was a little over 4. This was like 4 1/8. This is a smidge under 4 inches. So you want just enough to give you a border. So you might have to play with it first. So before I glue it down, I'm going to ink the edges, and I'm using black. And I'm only using black because this has some darker colors in it rather than using the brown. I like to use the black soot on my lighter colors, like my blues and pinks and things. I just think it looks pretty. And while I'm here, I'm going to do that to the edge of the envelope. I don't have to worry about the back on this one. And let me get in here. I don't have to do that because we're going to cover that, and we'll do that in a little bit. Okay, so let's put this down. Now here, I'm gluing it flat down. I'm not worrying about making another pocket. I think we'll have plenty of pockets. Okay. Beautiful. Next thing I'm going to do is cover this top edge, and I'm going to use this color, a little strip. And in order to do that, I'm simply going to glue it and cut it after I glue it. I love this. It's almost like Art Deco. I live down in Miami, and Miami Beach. We have a lot of deco hotels which are gorgeous. If you ever come down here to just take it, they have a free tour you can take of the Art Deco district, and it's really nice. Okay, just like that. I'll make sure I didn't stick it anywhere it shouldn't be stuck. And I'm going to ink the edges of this. Okay, so next we have our other envelope that we cut, which was this one. And that's going to stick down right on top, again, leaving a border. Now here are your choices here, and actually it's going to go like this. First thing we're going to do before we glue it down, we need to cut out the window. And we're not going to cut out that window in the envelope. We're going to cut out the window in the mat that we put over the envelope. And this is the mat that we're putting over the envelope. And the same thing as we did with the other one, we want a little border to show. I'm going to cut this down. Not too far. Just so it shows, peeps above there. Actually, need to trim the edge just a bit. Just a bit. Perfect. Okay, we're going to cut our window in this piece. So our window measurements are 1 by 3.5. And I simply do this on my cutter. I don't try to finagle my scissors in there. So I want to make an opening that's 3.5 inches long and 1 inch wide. And I want to do it over to the left-hand side of the paper, the left, right, and the left upper side. So right about here. I want to remember to leave a spot that I'm going to glue it down in. So I'm going to start it probably about right, let's say down a half, maybe, yeah, about a 1/2 inch right up here. And I'm going to go over, let me try to line it up. I'm going to go over about 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to take this, my cutter part, and I line it up with this top little ridge in mine. I'm going to go down 3.5 inches. So 1, 2, 3.5. And this gets tricky because you don't want it to move. I'm going to go all the way down here. Then I'm simply going to move it over 1 inch. So I'm a little over the blip, over 1, so I want a little over the blip on 2. I want to line this up with the bottom of the line, where the line is on the other side, and line up the top, just like that. Then I want to take a look. Did I get it right? So far, so good. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut the bottom edge. And the bottom is much easier. Again, I want to line this up with the line. And it's snagging on something. Okay. So far, so good. Do the same thing on the other side. just so I can see where it lands. There we go. Okay, and voila, there's our window. So we're going to take this. And before we glue it down, we have to put our acetate over it. So I cut my little piece of acetate in a rectangle. I want the music notes going. And I can trim this a bit. And I can trim it this way. And let me set this aside. And I'm going to glue this. Make sure it's going the right way. Glue this just like this. I'm going to put the glue on the paper this way. Okay. Just like that. And there you have a pretty window. I'm sorry about that. My dog. My husband's trying to make sure he doesn't bark. But it doesn't matter. Whenever I turn the video on, my dog barks. Okay, now I'm going to glue this down. And I'm going to glue all of this side because I only want enough opening for a thin tag. So I'm actually going to glue up here, all the way down. A little bit of this side, but then this side I'm going to glue just like that. And I'm going to make sure my opening is correct. And make sure there's a border around, which there is. Next thing I'm going to do is glue this down. And what I forgot to do was ink the mat before I put it down. I'm going to try to do it really quickly before it dries. It's funny, my puppy, as some of you know, we got her at the pound about 5 months ago. Him, Jimmy, he's 10 years old and is pretty much blind and can't hear. So you can't be too hard on him for barking. He's trying to tell us something, right? Okay, so now I'm going to glue this down, and what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to glue it. We'll have the pocket in the back here. Whoops, let me put a little more glue. Okay, we have the pocket for the tag. We have this pocket up here. I'm going to make this so that our pocket is sideways, comes out here. So I'm going to glue it at the top, the bottom, just like this. And then we mat that right like that. I'll move it over a little bit. There we go. Next, this will be for my tag. We're going to do it on this side. Make sure that it's freed up. I lost my bone folder, my favorite bone folder. I have another one, but I think I threw it away when I was throwing away scraps. It killed me. Okay, so I'm going to cut this, fold it, but don't crease it, and see if I need to cut the length anymore. Yeah, I could make it a little shorter. And hole. We're going to make a bow out of this instead of the regular, you know, little tag thing we always do. And normally I would put some white paper or something on the back here so folks could have a place to write. And let me cut this. Okay, so now we have a pocket here that needs to be glued a little better. We have a pocket here. We have a pocket here. We have a pocket here. And we have a pocket here. I'm going to quickly make a tag for the bigger pocket or a card. Around the edges with my favorite tool. I love this corner rounder. And we'll put that in the very back. Let's see what else I have that we can stick in. That needs to be glued down a little bit more. Okay. And this way. And the same thing. Material's so pretty. The paper, it was from Cricut. $4.99 a pack. They're having a clearance sale. And then if you're a member of their Access, you get another 10% off, free shipping if you spend a certain amount. Okay, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this simple tutorial on making these. I want to call them pocket stacks. And I hope you make them. You all have a good day. And if you like the video, I'd appreciate it if you'd give me a thumbs up. And as always, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. Let me know what you're interested in. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. Bye.